Welcome in, everyone, to the ASUG News Broadcast Studio. If I could have some of your attention, we're going to try woo! Woo! Thank you. We are handing over the keys to the studio to this crew up here, the DSLayer guys, and they're going to do a tweet up. So if you want some questions asked and some questions answered, tweet away, and the hashtag is hashtag DSL tweets. Again, hashtag DSL tweets. Send these guys questions. Doesn't have to be about BI. Doesn't have to be about business objects. It can be about whatever you want. Though they will be talking about something. Eric's going to address that. But have fun. Tweet away. Tweet up. Eric, stage is yours.
Thanks, Tom. Hello, and welcome to what's possibly the weirdest episode of the Diversified Semantic Layer podcast. We're honored to be up here on stage with our friend Dallas Marks. And we want to thank ASUG News and the awesome crew for hooking us up. So this is new for us. The stage fright is setting in, and I'm about to clam up. It's going to be awkward for a few minutes, but just give me okay, I'm fine. So, I think the topic we want to go after tonight is really one we can thank Dallas for. I don't think any of us had any idea what we were going to walk up here and talk about. So, hey, Dallas, thanks. But sure. The blog post that sought to incite riot at SBOUC, are we any better off now than we were 4 years ago? So with that, we're going to do our best to keep up with Twitter, and we'll kick it off with the fact that Dennis Howlett made a very profound tweet to kick us off. Right after the one with who are the rock stars? That's us. We're good. But anyway, Dennis says, ask the competitors who are scooping up customers. What do we think about that? Are we better off? What about our competitors?
Well, I think a lot of that had to do with business objects, and SAP obviously just hadn't really filled out the entire portfolio, right? So when they brought Crystal and Webby together, that dealt with the old paradigm of BI, and I think that other players like Tableau and ClickTech really filled in some of those gaps. And now SAP's coming out with other tools like Visi, predictive analytics that sort of, they're filling all of those niches and giving people no good reason to go to a competitor. And I think that we'll start seeing that trend turn a little bit.
So, if that's true, right? BI4 is what's been thrust upon us, good or bad, right? It's a big rewrite. There's some stuff in it for the good old business objects customer. But what's good? What compels us to move today?
Well, I think that's something I've been saying all day. I think this is really the first enterprise-worthy. This really feels like an enterprise application. We've finally gotten away from where it started as a desktop tool that kind of started like in its adolescence towards enterprise in XIR2 and got a little closer, but now it's like a full-blown adult enterprise application. It's got, the monitoring engine in there. It's got 64-bit, can use a lot more horsepower. It's all grown up.
But where's the cool BI in that? I mean that's the question, right?
Yeah.
If the cost of ownership's higher?
I think that's another point too, where SAP has maybe been losing some deals is in the selling to a particular line of business or business unit rather than selling to the enterprise, right? Tableau, ClickTech, a lot of those really target, I'm just going after the sales organization. I'm just going after the, some operational line of business organization. And I think that SAP probably still has some work to do on selling to those groups instead of selling to the CIO and down. But, at least now they have the tools to enable that sort of sale. I don't know if they've got their sales force quite figured out how to do it.
So Dallas, from a messaging perspective, right? An Oracle DBA goes to Oracle World, and a Teradata DBA might go to whatever their conference is, wherever they have it. But we're at a business objects conference, and the message for HANA is still pretty heavy, right? Is that a turnoff?
I'm not sure it's a turnoff, but it is certainly getting quite repetitive. As we come to all these conferences, SAP wants HANA to be for everybody, but I'm not sure that it is.
Then what do you guys think of the notion that analytics is just part of the HANA messaging? Nothing?
I didn't hear what you
I
said.
couldn't hear the
Sorry.
questions.
Oh, these freaking people.
Excuse me. No, just kidding.
So what was your question?
So my question is, I think the notion is that analytics is now considered a part of the HANA messaging, right? It's one and the same. I mean, we're getting the same talks at the same show. We're business objects people, yet we're also learning about big data and databases and where ASE fits with HANA and IQ and replication. Is that mix appropriate for a show like this?
I think that the discussion
That's right. I mean, obviously, not all business objects customers are HANA customers right now, and it won't ever be. But you know, SAP has a beautiful new baby it wants to show off. It's going to show it off anywhere that it can. You know, I think that as BI people, everybody here should be interested in big data, or at least where the future of databases is going. And clearly, that's in memory. So even if the message here is HANA, 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 we should all at least be thinking of in memory, or you know, from whatever vendor we end up buying it from.
But then let's also think about, though, the history of this conference and this community and a lot of these people, where I noticed this very starkly when we first became a part of ASUG. So we tend to be very tool-centric. We came here to learn how to build a universe, how to build a better Webby report, right? I mean, we were focused on learning this tool. But that broader conversation of analytics is more the way the traditional SAP products are. It's solution-based. They don't talk about specific tools. They talk about mobility. They talk about, you know, in broader topics. So I think analytics now is becoming one of those broader topics. And not that this still needs to be the tool-based, because the tool is complex enough and it's enough of a science, you know, obviously to make a living out of. And we still need to have a place to come and sharpen that axe every once in a while, right? But I also think that strategically we should be having those larger analytics conversations that include big data, HANA, whatever, right? The next big thing.
So Wayne Gretzky, the hockey great, you know, he has the famous quote that he doesn't skate to where the puck is, he skates to where it's going to be. And you know, I think SAP through their marketing initiatives, HANA is where they want the puck to be. You know, so their job at the conference is, you know, we want to tell customers where the puck is moving to, but you know, the point of me asking the question that it did, are you better off? That's where customers are. And so my blog was really a request of SAP. It's just like, look, you know, those of us who are consultants, we're out, we're talking to our customers. Our customers aren't nervous, you know, and they're not all angrily twittering away on social media, but they're perceptibly nervous. And so when they come to an environment like this, they need to feel as good about the SAP Business Intelligence offerings as they felt 4 years ago.
Well, and since Desky now has an end-of-life date, I'm thrilled. I think we're way better off than we were 4 years ago.
You hurt me. You cut me every time. So, on to some more serious questions from the audience. Dallas, is there a beard in your future? No, get out of here. Never mind. All right, moving on. So Timo makes a point, you know, to the question, are we better off? The SAP numbers, the SAP has actually grown in market share. I wish I could back that up. I guess we'll need to see a blog on that or something effective.
We're not really numbers people, it's all right.
Can I get that in a spread mark, please? The t-shirts, I will totally sell mine on eBay, Tom. So what do you guys think that SAP customers need to hear to feel better? You know, the reaction this morning to the crowd, you know, HANA, it was like crickets chirping. You know, is there something magical that we're going to hear that makes us think, you know, all right, HANA's not so bad, we'll listen?
It's just like any major change management exercise that you go through, right? It's human nature to fear change. We all resist it, even though it's the only thing that happens to us every single day. And I think that the best medicine for that is conversation. A lot of like what we did on Sunday night, the Influencer Summit, where SAP's there, we air our issues, we start talking about it, and then we get into talk about how we're going to fix it. It's not just a gripe fest, right? We start having productive dialogue. What can we do? How do we dig in? What can each of us do to help? And the right people we can talk to. I see a bunch of people standing out here on the side from the SAP support group. They have been amazing reaching out to us to help out. How can we help make support better? The opportunities are there, but you have to be willing to be productive. And so those conversations really help that feeling of feeling better.
Good. I'm realizing we forgot to announce the drinking game. Is it too?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to that later. All right. So,
I'm betting on me to win. Whatever.
Jamie.
Bro.
So I guess I'll get down to the core of the question for you guys, because you've been doing BI stuff as long as me. Are we better off than we are 4 years ago? Dallas? You posted the question. I want to hear the answers.
Okay.
Don't evade it.
So, I personally, I'm well off with how things are. I do desire things to be better. We've talked about non-disruptive upgrades. I'm not sure anybody classifies BI4 as a non-disruptive upgrade yet, even with Feature Pack 3 and Support Pack 4. So, will 4.1 that's coming next year, will that be the non-disruptive upgrade of 4.0? It remains to be seen, because nobody's talking about 4.1 at this conference. So I think the jury's really still out. But again, we're here to hear the vendor answer that question.
What do you guys think?
I think so. I mean, if you look at where the portfolio was 4 years ago and where it is today, I mean, it's just night and day. 4 years ago, we didn't have a respectable mobile solution. 4 years ago, we didn't have Explorer built out. We didn't have, dashboards sort of fully baked. I mean, just naturally and organically and evolutionarily, we have gone much further than we were. I think that, sure, we've had some rough spots and some rough patches, but you're going to have that. There's no such thing as disruptive innovation, no matter what, the marketing slides say. So we've had some pain points, but I think at the end of the day, we have a pretty good setup.
I think it's really hard to compare, because we don't know what business objects would have looked like today had the acquisition not happened. I mean, I think innovation would have happened anyway, but it's hard to say. But I like the position that we're in now. I like the direction that things are going, and I like the way that we're all working together so that everyone's voices and opinions and needs get addressed.
I got to say that I feel like the platform, being a server nerd, is in a good place, right?
Yeah.
The move to 64-bit, it's bigger and beefier. It is what it is. But the thing that kind of chaps me the wrong way is the fact that visual intelligence and predictive analytics, they're not part of the same platform. It's like they're two different tools and technologies, and I get that, and they serve different needs, but you have an enterprise platform. Why don't things start from that, so that we can leverage all the same mechanisms that we've had for the last, I don't know how many years, to distribute content or to enable mobility, right? I mean, with FP3 and SB4, the introduction of the Unwired platform as the mobile service, great. It made deploying mobile easy, but why wouldn't that just happen magically for Visi too? It should be a part of the platform.
So,
why isn't it?
I mean,
you read the same data out the same way that
you read it in the platform.
Wow, I really cannot hear you. Anyway, come again.
I was just saying, you read data out the same on the platform. Yeah, you can't consume it in the platform, but it's not really that sort of experience.
It's not a web tool.
I get that, but in some way, I should be able to consume data.
Not correct.
But I'm done.
Can I answer your question?
Oh, I went to sleep. Yes.
So Greg makes a very good point. BI4, enterprise ready. Competitors, they're sneaking into the door, not at the enterprise level, they're sneaking in at the department level. So in my opinion, visual intelligence is a departmental response. it's kind of a counterattack to the competitors of SAP. That yes, they don't have the breadth of the offering, but they're also, the competitors can go in and say, well, we have less complexity, and that's a good thing. So I think with visual intelligence versus the platform, they're trying to satisfy both needs.
Isn't that just the market share that we lost by getting rid of Desky? I mean, really, it's the void that sort of, arguably, right?
One of these things
Right?
is not like the other.
It had to be said, sorry.
So I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to tell Timo it's a brilliant idea. We need a Dusky to visual intelligence converter, and I'm going to run off and trademark that because I own the hashtag. And I think on that note, we should probably bring this to a close. Thanks for tuning in. If you're actually here, we're going to hang out in booth 102 and maybe even do some more live episodes and some fun interviews. And we got some cool swag. Toasted layer shot glasses,
Temporary tattoos.
not to be missed, limited supply. We got some awesome tats. We got an artist. You don't want to miss these. I've got some in some. Well, we won't talk about. But Jamie is
You want to
even
miss
worse.
those.
Yeah. But thanks for tuning in, and thanks again to ASUG and the awesome crew for sticking around and let us record on leather. Good night.